Live. Let me just shut that down there. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live tonight. We're going to get onto the full cam here on YouTube. Yes, we are back. We are live. We are ready. We are ready to go here on Talk Talk Live on a Thursday night, people. The prelude to the weekend. Hope all is well with you and yours on this. It was an overcast day in the city of Toronto. However, wherever you are in your neck of the woods, wherever you are in your part of the world, I hope you had an enjoyable day. Yes, indeed. This show is sponsored by, again, my people at Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And tonight, I told you I'll be pulling some cards. And I'll say something to you right now. I may upset a few people here. I'll say that. But it's for a good reason. It is hopeful that lessons can be learned from tonight, and that the people who I am supposedly targeting get some sort of help here. Some sort of a wake-up call, to be fair. Although there have been thousands of wake-up calls, and quite simply, not a lot of people have quite simply answered those calls because, quite simply, they feel that they're above the law. And who am I speaking of in particular? What group am I talking about? Well, some people call them body positive people. Some people call them body neutral people. Some people call them fat acceptance people. Well, I just call them, quite simply, the old school name of fat. Yes, we are talking about the overweight among us, the obese among us, and how their choices, if they wish to be validated in any way, shape, or form, as my Blue Jays hit a home run. Thank goodness for that. Anyway, they've been losing the last couple of days. Anyways, how are you doing? How are y'all doing? Tonight is supposed to be a little bit of tough love, a little bit of therapy, because I've been one of them. I am not going to be ashamed to admit that. I was once considered very, very, very obese, and I lost the weight. I got rid of it and said to myself, I had to make a change in my life, because one day, when I was 15, my mother put me in front of a mirror and said, you know what, you can't go on like this, because your life will be forever changed if you continue down this path. And I mean in a negative way. So I took it upon myself at that age to start losing weight, to start going to the gym. Well, just watching my diet in that time, and then after that, I decided to go to the gym and get myself ready and available for the different sort of encounters to come in my life, especially romantic and sexual encounters, to be fair and frank. However, there is a group among us, a group of us overweight and obese people who really don't see the forest for the trees. And need we say more? Well, there's a gen who really don't know, and those are the women among us, because for a lot of big boned women, especially of the African variety, they feel that they're above reproach, that they cannot be questioned. And that's why this whole body positivity, fat acceptance, body neutral movement began, because they want to be treated like everyone else and have the same sort of outcomes as everyone else. But the question tonight is, should the obese, the overweight, the fat amongst us be entitled to the same outcomes as everyone else? Because you know what triggered me? Let's go to the browser right now. We're just going to go to the browser right now as I get into it. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. It's this. And you know what? It was featured on, to a certain extent, there we go. It was featured on the Jeannie Mai show, and this was on the back end of it. Now, I didn't want to expose it back then. I didn't want to talk about it then, but I want to speak about it now, because this is what the majority of modern women, especially modern fat acceptance, modern body positive women want. What they want is their sins to be sort of, especially modern women, they want their sins to be erased, and for them to get the same outcomes as the fitter, the skinnier, the more in shape among them. And I'm just gonna let this back end run, and then we're gonna get into it right away. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. It is gonna be tough love tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Well, definitely for the ladies. Let's go.
What the 6 6s can get you right here, right here.
I don't know what theme music that's from, but that sounds
fun. This is a dating app. I'll fall for you if you follow the rules of 6. 6 feet with 6 figures. But we are battling inflation, so I'll be flexible, yeah, for boys that make me giggle. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now, what you're seeing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is an actual dating app. I think it's probably on Hinge. Dating app. Profile. I tried to find a name, but I finally found it. It is a dating app profile, people. This is it right here. This is an actual dating profile on, I believe, Hinge, or one of the big dating podcasts. Now, this woman is obviously in a 200 to 300 pound range, but she insists that she wants a man, as was already prior to explaining. I'll let him explain it again. Let's just do it one more time quickly, please. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. He's doing wonderful things in these YouTube streets and letting men know that the simping must end. But although simps will be everywhere, and let's face facts, simps will never die, especially among the men who are so desperate for sex. So again, actual dating app profile of this lady, and this is what she's asking of her prototypical / favorite sort of guy. Let's get into it. Let's go do it one more time.
On the screen, take a quick look at what the 6 6s can get you right here, right here.
6 6s. Remember, when they talk about 6 6s, they're talking about they want a man with a 6-pack, 6 feet tall, 6 inches or more, and 6-figure salary. Those are the 4 6s. She's talking about 2. Well, I'll let her explain. I'll let CJ explain.
All right, let's look at it. This is a dating app. I'll fall for you if you follow the rules of 6. 6 feet with 6 figures. But we are battling inflation, so I'll be flexible, yeah, for boys that make me giggle. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've been told y'all to leave dating apps a long time ago. But this is what happens out here when they don't care about men. They don't. This person obviously does not care about any man that comes in her life. She's completely selfish. She's let herself go. And now, every now and then, a Chad, somebody else that I'll fall for you. Come on, man. Like, this whole inflation thing is out of control.
And this is what brought to my attention the topic of this evening. What you see on YouTube right now on Talk Live is a woman who is obviously, and it's a black woman, of course, obviously about 250 to 300 pounds. And that is a moderate estimate. And she's asking for a man who's 6 feet tall and 6 figures. I know for a fact that you don't even have to ask, but she wants a man who also has a 6-pack and 6 inches or more. You can just guarantee that. You can just write that. You can write that in the fine print. But that is guaranteed what she's looking for. And she's 300 pounds. We're supposed to look away from her sins, look away from her gluttony, and give her what she wants, because that's what she insists upon. Now, again, Hey, hello from Jamaica, Mr. Little. How are you? How are you? How are you, sir? Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live tonight. So, that's what we're dealing with right now. You're having obese women who used to be shamed for their size actually demand, and this is not a want, this is not a need, this is a demand, that they want a man who, quite simply, top women only should, should they have, they want what top women want. Simple as that. Let's just call a spade, which is stunning. Now you think, I'll let him continue with his what he has to say, and we'll just get back to it.
This is getting out of control. We've lost our way. We've lost our weight. We've lost our sense of reality. Hoflation is out of control. Shrinkflation is out of control. Stagflation is gone. Standards, like, what are we doing, y'all? You know, this shows me she don't care about men. She doesn't care about the man that she's gonna give herself to. Because why would I work so hard in life and be blessed to be 6 feet tall? It's a blessing.
Right? Remember what he says, only 15%, what I said, what I've already said, and what many people have said, only 15% of the population, of the world population, are 6 feet or taller. 15%. But yet this lady who we've displayed here on Talk Live on YouTube, she thinks she should have access to that man. And not only access to that man, she should have that man to herself for life. A 200 to 300 pound woman. That's the sort of world we're dealing with today. 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago, this would not even be heard of. But in this age of body positivity, in this age of fat acceptance, in this age of body neutrality, it is an absolute demand of the bigger set. But I'll tell you one thing, though. If a man asks for a woman who is about 120 pounds, about 5'3", with model-like features, he'd be laughed at. He'd be ostracized. He'd be considered mad. But only women are coddled and cajoled to think that they can have access to this man. I'll let him finish, and then I'll give you some examples. I'm serious. It's everywhere.
Be blessed to have worked hard and everything worked out for me. And I got to 6 figures. And at the end of that work, I got a 6-pack ab. I work out.
Just to respond to my man, she needs to get a grip. No, she's had grips. She's had grips of pie. She's had grips of chicken. She's had grips of too many sandwiches. She's had grips of every fattening food, of donuts. She's had grips of pizzas. She's had grips of more food than you can shake a stick at. And she wants more grips of it. However, she wants men to look away from her looks and say, you know what? Look away from her sins and say, you know what? Gluttony be damned. I still want that man. Instead of someone who is an alike of herself, no. No, 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 no. They won't do. They want a damn near Polo Ralph Lauren model for themselves. It's 2023. This is the rule now. This is the rule. This is the rule. I'll let him finish.
Diligent, I'm disciplined. At the end of it, this is my option. You see? And this is just the bottom people. This is the people at the bottom. What about the ones in between, ladies and gentlemen? What about the women in between? Even the most delusional ones that are just basic. They're out here.
Thank you to my man, Coach Greg Adams. Do like, subscribe, comment on his page. He's doing wonderful things in these YouTube streets for men of all ages and sizes, and he brings to an attention a real important fact that I've already proven on Talk to Talk Live. The Chads, the Tyrones, the high value men, all men are pooling their resources for these top 10 to 20% of men, leaving a third of men either virgins or not having sex in a year. They are taking that off the table of most men. They will not have any sort of relations, any sort of relationships, any sort of marriages to these men. Because they believe they deserve more. They think they deserve as the same sort of outcomes as most women who've kept themselves in shape. Most women who've had the discipline. Most women who've done the work to deserve the sort of men that most women would want. Michael Little says, hell no, most Jamaican men love fat girls, but I don't like fat girls. What's the next man? What the next man does is funny to watch. But here's the thing. I've got something for that a little bit later. I have something for that same comment that you just issued right there, Michael Little. Thank you very much for the comment. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. And again, it's true. But hey, you think I'm lying. You think I'm joking. You think I am out of my mind. Well, cast your eyes on this. I have a few examples for you. I do. I have a few examples for you here. Let's go to the first example. The most prominent example out there today. What's her name? Well, she goes by one. There she is. Lizzo. The patron saint of fat acceptance. You'd think, I mean, she's a very talented lady, let me say that. She has sold millions of records to say no. She is catered to that body positive, fat acceptance fan base, and they will never let her go because she is doing things that they want to do, and that is be successful in their field and yet get themselves someone who is not an A-alike. Not someone who is as much as them. No, these girls want someone just as slim as this guy. You can see it here on Talk Live. On YouTube. You want a man who's about 6 feet tall, 6-pack, or relative, even skinny fat. You can do that too. They want the 6 inches or more. They want the same outcomes as every other woman, even though they have not paid a certain price. They want you to look away from that paper. They want to look away from any sort of work they've done in their life. This is what I'm telling you. I've been waiting to see your example. This is the example right here. Look at Lizzo. Look at Lizzo herself. There's Lizzo. In all her crowning glory, huh? Now, again, let me say this as an update. That man is not around anymore. Yeah, she's single again. Sorry to say she's single again. But hey, wait! There is more. There are those who have indeed succeeded in their quest, including Gabourey Sidibe. Yes, that is her and her husband. Skinny fat as you can see. She doesn't want anyone who is like her. No. Don't do that. Don't bring me them. I want what I want. Despite my past misgivings, I want what I want. Chanel, you're absolutely right. She's not an example for you, but she's an example for the body positive, fat acceptance, definitely fat acceptance, body neutral crowd out there. And they're growing. And they are growing. She is married to this man. But again, what these ladies want and what these ladies get are two different things. See, a fat man couldn't walk around and literally and find a lady, to his liking. Chances are he'd have to have a whole lot of money to get that, and even so, it's only for a time. It's literally only for a time. But When there are simps out there who need that little sexual healing, they'll always be found by these big ladies. And that's why I say, usually the big ladies usually fall for the smaller guys, especially the guys who are seen as the fringe. Those are guys who don't see themselves as the top dog, the alpha males, that sort of thing. More examples. Oh, you want more examples? Okay. Well, there's Gabrielle Sidibe. We've already looked at Lizzo. Here's another one. Oh, no. I forgot about that. I forgot. This is what, remember, I'm looking at Talk and Talk Live. This is who Lizzo really wanted. Chris Evans. Remember him, Captain America? You'd think that she would want someone her side, but no. She wants the top of the tree. One of the most sought after actors in Hollywood. She wants that one. Forget her past misgivings. That's who she wants. That's what she cried out on Instagram, cried out on then Twitter, cried out on TikTok to have. This one right here. When he politely declined, because again, he don't want to ruffle any feathers, because you know you can't tell them ladies, you can't have you, because you'll have a holy war on your hands. You gotta let them down easy. When women of much smaller, if not the same type, would shame to death a man of that size, of Lizzo's size. Absolutely. Shame him to death. Say, you're not good enough for me. And they are not shunned or ridiculed for their choice. That's the double standard. That's the double standard. We've already talked about that on Talk Talk Live. There is a double standard, people. In terms of what women want, they are lauded for their choices. For what men want, well, you'll find out in a bit. And one more example here. Yes. The lady from My Big Fat Life, I believe. Yes. My Big Fat Fabulous Life. Yes, indeed. There she is. Miss Whitney Waythor. Yes, there she is. I just had to get her name. Whitney Waythor. Do you see a man here of her size? No. Oh, no. She's never like those guys. Never. She wants someone who is, well, he can be skinny fat. I'll give you skinny fat. He wants somebody skinny fat. He wants someone who, is able to, love all of her curves. Except they can't have curves themselves. Well, they can have a few, but not much. Have a few comments here. Her confidence is great. Get that man. Who are you referring to Lizzo? Are you referring to? I guess you're referring to Lizzo. Yeah, her confidence is great. It's just that if a man had that sort of confidence, he'd be laughed at. If a man had that sort of confidence, he'd be shunned. He'd be ridiculed. He'll not hear the end of it. But her confidence is to be heralded, to be celebrated. Exactly. You're talking about Lizzo, that's right. But anyways, I digress. That is the trend of women these days, especially modern women. They want you to look past their sins and give them what they want because they're so confident. They're so beautiful in their own skin. But that's a double standard because only women get that sort of adulation, as they say. Well, let's go into another video right here. We're going to talk to Six the Goddess. Six the Goddess, listen, and this lady is doing wonderful things in the YouTube streets. Please like and subscribe to Six the Goddess. Six the Goddess is for a reason. Six the Goddess is 6 feet tall and a gorgeous lady all around. And, she listen, when it comes to fitness, she tells it to him straight. Tell it to him real straight. I know there's another lady out here. Yeah, my views may offend you. Hold on. Let me get to YouTube here. My views may offend you here. Oh, a second. And she has called that out all day long, 2 weeks to Sunday. But I will not have this lady. My views Oh, may offend you. That's the one. My thoughts may offend you. There you go. There you go. My thoughts may offend you. Yes, indeed. Michelle McDaniel. There you go. Doing wonderful things in his YouTube streets, and especially about this sort of epidemic of obesity and ladies, wanting what they want. But we don't have time to go there. We have to move on to Six the Goddess. Six the Goddess is doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Let's hear out what men really want in a lady. If you didn't know. And if you do not know, then you've been living under a rock. Let's go.
Psychologically, a smaller waist signals to the man that she cannot help me. And it has been historically proven throughout life that the worse the economic status of the men, the bigger the women, period. It has been psychologically proven that when a man sees a bigger waist, it signifies help. So if he is not in his financial confidence, if he's like Derek, where he's fresh out of prison with nothing to his name, he's not going to go, in his mind, he's not going to say, I'm going to go for the baddie. She's going to be the one to buy me Gucci shoes and a $500 steakhouse dinner. It's just not going to happen. My whole purpose in what I do is ask women to find solutions, to align yourself. Align yourself with what it is you say you want, period.
Just for a second there, I'm going to stop Six the Goddess right there. And this is going back to that statement right here from Michael Lynn. He says, I'm from Jamaica, and men over here want men over here love fat girls, but I don't like fat girls. What the next man does is, it's tummy watch, quite simply. And this is true. Jamaica, as much as I love Jamaica, is not exactly the separation between the rich and the poor is quite cavernous, quite simply. It is one of the more, I wouldn't say poverty-stricken, but it's one of the more hard-hit and one of the more working class / at times depressed areas in the Caribbean. And for the most part, you have a lot of people who are working class, if not poor, within the country. And as he said, as Michael Little said, what these girls in Jamaica want, especially in the Caribbean altogether, what they want are bigger women because they will show support to a man. And as she said, it's psychologically proven. Once a woman has bigger hips, wider hips, a bigger ass, and bigger frame, bigger belly, chances are she will be a helping hand rather than a hindrance to a man of poor stature and financial standing. That's a signal it's a psychological signal to the brain. So therefore, that's why most men of a high value standard will reject this woman outright, because you tend not to find, not to say it doesn't happen at all. You tend not to find bigger women with men who have already made money. If you do, usually they start out with these same men from the start. That's the only way they stick around. Any newer wife that comes around, or any man who's come into money and they've remained single, they automatically go to women who have smaller waists. You can have somewhat moderate to bigger hips, but an hourglass shape. An hourglass shape. The poor among us, they tend not to go for that. That's why you find a lot, when you go to war, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's true, and I've seen it happen time in, time out. I realize who I am and what group I come from. When you head to these poor areas, you tend to see a lot of the men surviving with bigger set women. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's an absolute fact. Because The hip to shoulder to weight ratio shows support, and she's absolutely right in that. We have a comment right here that says, all men I've dealt with in Jamaica have had big money. It's about how much they want to elevate. No. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, working class Jamaicans tend to take a liking to bigger girls. The poor among us tend to want to like bigger girls, and this is more of a psychological state of being rather than anything else. So we that needs to be acknowledged, and I'm glad that Six of God has pointed that out. Let's continue.
Women to not slack and say, I'm not going to just try to get away with the bare minimum. Let me actually put forth effort to be my best self, period. I've spoke many times about Black women lie about their weight. I've spoke many times about why Black women are so addicted to food, okay? That food is a replacement for a lot of things, all right? Like relationships, families, love, affection. So many Black women will say, you know what? I'm just going to not worry about any of that. And instead, I'm going to turn to food. You should be eating to live, not living to eat, okay? It's only maybe 2 out of 10 Black women that are overweight due to a disorder, because every big girl wants to tell you that it's genetic. Every big girl wants to tell you that it's some health problem, and it's simply a lie. The reason why majority of Black women are big is because they are intaking more calories than they are consuming. Period. That's what it all comes down to.
Stop right there. Did you hear what Six of Goddess had to say? Only about 2 out of 10 overweight, obese Black women in general, have their weight be due to an eating disorder. Most women, if they are too big, it's because of their choices in their diets. Simple as that. Don't believe me? Let's have a look. So that means, let's go to the statistics. As always, I am one to prove whatever I have to say. BlackDemographics.com. Let's get back to it. You can never fall away from this. I'll always have this in my back pocket, as should most, and I mean most podcasters in this space. Let's go towards health, obesity, and look at what we have here after the last census. This is from the CDC and the U.S. Census. These are statistics that are true. These are statistics contributed by Black people for Black people. Black people are, there they are. They are the most obese of women on planet Earth. They're among the most obese of women on planet Earth. I believe in the Pacific Islands there is a similarity there, but again, just saying. Do the math. Do the anthropology. You know what? You know where to go with this. But actually, let's just look at it right here. 55% of Black women are either overweight or obese. More than any other woman out there. Any other one. Here they are. Black women have the highest rates of obesity in America, 55%. 54% of Black women are obese. The number has been steadily on the increase despite the efforts to bring awareness to healthy living. Unfortunately, Black culture contributes to this increase, partly due to the fact that Black diet, which consists of mainly fried and fatty foods, it's not an eating disorder. It's your choice in diet. Another factor is mainstream American culture with its prevalence of fast, prepared, processed foods. Chemicals are added to the fruits, vegetables to look, taste, and have longer shelf life, and yada, yada, yada. You know the deal. Child obesity, watching your weight. Black women haven't. We are good, but back to it. Six of Goddess, please continue. I've already shown.
See handsome, successful man with big girl. I simply do not. I've never.
And there's a reason for that. You want to know the reason? because men do not wish to display women they're not proud of in public. At least not for their families to see, especially high value men. They don't want to be associated with bigger girls. You don't see bigger girls stepping out of limos. You don't. Unless they're stars themselves. They don't step out of limos with men. They don't do it. Especially high value men. They don't. You don't see it. Doesn't happen. Maybe Lizzo, yeah, okay, one, but where was her? Look at her man. He's not exactly high value, is he? And is he here? No. Most of these men that step out with these ladies are average at best. Average men, down their luck, unemployed, simps, guys who could not hold a candle to the best among us. They're there for whatever they can find, and fair play to them. If they find love, they find love. If a woman finds love, she finds love. But for her to ask of a man of high stature, that's an impossibility. Why? It's not in the nature of a high value man to take a woman out, a fat woman out, a body positive woman out, a fat acceptance woman out, in public for a long period of time outside of trying to mate. Sorry to say, but it's true. Sorry to say, but it's true.
Ever talked to a man who worked his butt off, gained wealth, and then went out in his life, went to the club, saw a big girl, and was like, that's my wife right there. I'm about to go hard for her. That's my future wife. I've never seen it. If I have seen a big girl with a successful man, he was not successful when he got with her, and she may not have been big when she got with him. Okay? Either they got big later on. Sorry, babe, I need you to, like, hello. Okay, like, hey, thank you. I'm only recording content for all over the internet. It's no big deal. I'm sure that my child that pay no bills, I'm sure what he's doing is more important right now. Sure it is. I'm
going to leave that right there. Although listen, let me tell you something right now. Six of Goddess. Okay? That's a whole other thing. It's a whole other topic. Let's just leave it right there. We got a comment from Chanel say, it may want to say this comment, but apparently big girls have the highest. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Come on now. I can't. Chanel, you're killing me, man. But here's the thing. I mean, Chanel, you're right. Let me say it in a way that YouTube won't, give me some sort of strike in any way, shape, or form. Big girls, yes, indeed, are more often known for their sexual appetite, including their food appetite, but also their sexual appetite. They realize that they'll do anything and everything in order to try to procure of the attention and adulation and hand of a man in relationship, if not marriage. They'll do whatever it takes. So you are right, Chanel, in that sense. However, most of these men aren't apt to stick around. Most stay for, and I'll show you in due course, one special video from a man who needs no introduction to prove this point exactly. Let's continue with the story.
Never seen it. And so many women were mad. And I said, this is the problem. We as Black women, when we hear something that we know is true, instead of meditating on that and doing better, we tend to want to shut it out. Okay? But we cannot shut out the fact that weight is a huge problem. And we cannot shut out the relationship issues that come with women who are big. period. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few things here. Now, this video would not be complete without me going ahead, and I'm gonna help y'all out for a second. If you're looking to lose weight, you need to do a cleanse and you need to get some alpha juices, period. Okay, start there. Alpha juice makes it so easy for you to have healthy options.
There we go.
My God, you can use my code 6God.
Okay, she's got to sell this product. I get it.
Now, take it now. Now I know when I put the glasses on, I mean business. Okay, let's go ahead and share this screen. Let's share the screen and let's just go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, and I want you all to be honest. Do you feel like if this woman did not look like this, do you think she would be doing all this? This is a show called Love After Lockup. I guess it's people who are pen pals or meet in jail or something like that, and then they get out and they're together. I don't know, super weird, but yes, this is a thing. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to break this down step by step.
Okay.
Now, before I get into the rest of this video, I'm
going to speak to the end of this thing because, again, there's a lot of stuff we got to go through. Unfortunately, we can't see the rest of the video, but I'm just going to get to the end.
There's another scene in here in which she gets in the car and she's like literally crying, and it's just holding on for dear life. And these are the women where when I speak on the fact of, hey, we as Black women, we got to do better. Like, we're big, we're not disciplined. You know, we have to get our own self in check before we tell everybody in shape, because he knows that means that he doesn't have much room for error. He knows he's going to have to be consistent in being a provider. A lot of men lack financial confidence. Okay, we're in a capitalist society. It's inflation. A lot of men have that fear. That's why I believe why a lot of men are not getting married. I think because
she has a point there. That right there is the point. You want to know why there is a direct correlation between the fatter society gets and the less men want to marry? And men wanting to, I mean, again, and this coincides with, you know, the family law rules and the laws for divorce and child custody and alimony and child support and you know, equalization payments and all these other things. But there is a direct correlation between, indeed, men not wanting to marry women, their numbers being on the decline, and obesity on the rise, especially in the Black community. I'll say I speak from my own my own diaspora right now because, again, that's the one I have expertise in. But Black men in particular aren't marrying Black women at the same rate they used to. Why? 50 years ago, Black women were, on average, very few were overweight. On average, most women were between 130 and 145 pounds. On average. If you ever looked at Soul Train videos, if you ever looked at any sort of footage from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, most women were fit. And at that time, Black families were married at an 80% rate. Now that women's, let's go back there. Let's go. Now that the obesity rates are at 55%, do we want to look at the marriage statistics now for Black women? Shall we? Okay. Shall we? Let's look at Black marriage, ladies and gentlemen. And how there's a direct correlation between the greater the size of woman and, let's see, Black women are, again, married at a 27% clip in the United States. And you can say that in the Western, you can call that in and around that number in the rest of the Western world. So that means what? Black women, when their weight has gone up, they become, quite simply, the least married women on planet Earth. The least married. women in the Western world / planet Earth, the westernized modern black woman, at 27%. Go back to the statistics again. But they have a 55% obesity rate. They were once married at an 80% clip in 1968, and in 2021 at the last census, remember these numbers come from the CDC and from the US Census. It says, serious as a heart attack. They're now at a 27% rate. I think there's a correlation there. Don't you? I think there's an extreme correlation there. Men are voting with their feet. And they're literally saying, we don't like what we are getting. But black women don't care. Unfortunately. The majority, a lot do. But the majority don't. Because 55% of black women are obese. 55%. Over half are obese. And yet, they are married at a 27% clip. That's what you call correlation, people. There's a correlation. Men are voting with their feet. Because black men are married at a 33% rate, which means what? Black men are starting to take their show in the road. They are starting to take their show in the road. Let's just go a little further down here. There we are. Black married men, black married women. And we're going to go over these stats a few more times, so buckle up. Black men are married at an 85, of all 100% of black men in the United States, 85% are married to black women, 8% to white women, 4% to Hispanic women, and 3% to other. Black men are starting to take their show on the road. I told you about the passport, bros. I told you about that. They're starting to take their show on the road, and guess what? They're being widely accepted. You're starting to see a lot of women who are of a fit nature sign up to black courses to understand black men. And they're slowly, I wouldn't say slowly but surely, but most people are race loyal. But the numbers are slowly, incrementally growing. Because black women aren't giving men the healthy spouses, girlfriends, lovers they want. They're doing it by themselves, and that's their choice. However, there are consequences to that. And you say black women, oh, everybody loves our curves, right? Now, well, again, 93% of black women have a black husband. Nobody's coming to claim them, especially fat black women. Oh, hell no. Hell no. You have to have money like, let's go back to it, a Gabourey Sidibe here. You need to have money like. Well, yeah, Gabourey Sidibe, that'd be good. Because again, Lizzo's kind of race loyal. But getting back to it, let's continue with what Six the Goddess has to say. I've shown you the numbers. I can't lie. I've shown you the numbers. Men are voting with their feet, and they don't like what they see. Just saying. Let's continue.
They're afraid because they feel like I don't trust myself that I'm going to be able to maintain the finances in this marriage. Almost to the place where they would rather not do it than have to risk not being able to handle their business. Okay? This video is not to say that women who look good don't get taken advantage of. That's not what it's saying. What I'm saying is that if you truly feel as though you're tired of being abused, if you truly feel like you want to align yourself and give yourself the best option to get what you want, it starts with you. If you went down to eating one meal a day and exercise for 4 days a week, okay, if you're humongously obese like sis, within 6 months, you will look like a different person. But you have to be consistent. Okay?
Just stopping it right there. What she says is true. Society shouldn't change for you. You need to change for what society wants. You should change for what men want, ladies. Black men, all men realize this. Fat men aren't getting any. They're part of the third of men who are virgins or haven't had sex in a year. Guaranteed they are. The world shows them that if you are obese, if you are fat, you aren't getting any as a man. The world is very, very cruel about that. Very, very blunt. Very, very black and white about that. But women think that they can change the game and they can change statistics. No, they're not. They'll just, men will just go elsewhere. But again, it starts with you. One thing I must give a lot of women, especially black women, because I'm in the gym myself quite frequently. If anybody knows me, ask anybody at Fitness 365 right down here on Ronson Road in Etobicoke. You can ask. Well, again, I'm giving away a few too many secrets. But anyways, ask anybody there. I am a regular attendee. Regular. I pretty much know most of the people who attend that gym. And guess what? I'm starting to see. Now, here's a feather in the cap with black women and obese women everywhere. I'm starting to see a change. I'm starting to see black women in particular and bigger women in general starting to attend the gym with more regularity. They realize that their lives are at stake. They're starting to understand that they need to change themselves and society shouldn't change for them. That's what body positivity, that's what fat acceptance, that's what body neutrality is all about. Society having to change for them. However, men aren't going to change what they like. They simply aren't. We like women who have a curvy figure, who's fit within the 120 to 140 range, who are relatively young. We can go from 20 to 30, yeah, sure. And who can bear children to term. That's who we like. And that hasn't changed from time immemorial, except Madison Avenue. And the biggest among us think that they can change men. No. That ain't happening. Men are quite immovable on this subject. We like what we like. Stop shaming us to think different.
Okay. I weighed 128, 30 pounds in high school. I am now 33 years old and I weigh 165 pounds. Okay. I'm 6 foot tall, to put that into context. I've never sat on here and said women need to be skinny. I'm not even skinny. What I'm saying is that we have to be a healthy weight. If you have no neck, if you need an extender for your seatbelt, if you are scavenging for men in jail to buy them tomahawk steaks when they get out in Gucci shirts, wouldn't it be better to put that energy and effort into yourself? You can take that $500, that's 5 months of a gym membership somewhere. And most gym
let her finish.
Memberships, when you sign up, they give you a free training session. You tell the trainer your goals and they'll show you what machines to use, how to use it. So imagine that money that she's putting into having to hold on to a crumb of a man, she can put into herself. Running from your own body does not work. Never has and never ever will.
There it is. I'll tell you something. And this has been my new policy. Let me get to Michael Little's comment. I'll never be happy with an overweight woman. Neither will I. Here's my policy with regards to larger set women or women in general. This is a across the board complete look at women in general. Unless it shows up on the scale, they need to prove to me that they have a regular gym membership and they can function in and around the gym. You know what one of my tests are? I do this. I bring a girl to the gym and I let her be. I'll see, what are you going to do next? If they come running to me, asking me what to do, that's a strike against them. Simply is. Because they haven't taken the time out to work on themselves. They haven't done the necessary due diligence and spade work in order to keep themselves in shape, either through diet or exercise. Oh, well, literally both. That's one of my tests. I literally bring a girl to a gym and I say, okay, I'm going to work out over here. What are you going to do? Sorry, there's something in my eye. What are you going to do? If she comes to me with a blank stare, we've got a problem. Because she hasn't been thinking about this long enough to make this a lifestyle choice. It's not a lifestyle anymore. You're supposed to lead her in the gym, and every time that she goes to the gym, she wants you with her. There it is. Just take any woman that you are seriously wish to be involved with to the gym and see what she does. I guarantee you, it is a revealing sight. Michael Little says here, I'll be more than willing to help her out going to the gym or early morning swims. I don't sit around and let my love overweight to pick where I don't want. Well, let me just say that again. I won't sit around and let my love get overweight to pick where I don't want her anymore. Well, yeah. Listen, if you give her the guidance, that's cool. But if she doesn't take the guidance to heart and create her own program, she doesn't care about her fitness, really. She wants you to care about her fitness, and that's a problem. She wants you to do the work while she just... Now again, there are personal trainers out there. Totally fine. Find yourself a personal trainer, let him get the program involved for you, and you get the work done. Absolutely, that's fine. And if you're a man, you give them a set of if they are really in dire need of help, I give them a program, and I want to see how they do on their own. I really do. I want to see how well they are going forward in terms of implementing that plan. If they are terrible at it, we've got a problem. We've got a big problem. Because they should take their health so seriously. Whatever I give them, whatever a personal trainer gives them, whatever you give them, Michael Little, should be taken to heart. And be as serious as a heart attack. Because I'll tell you something. Health is important to me because I know I would not get anywhere with women without my health. Nowhere. I understand that. So I took it to heart to make sure that I have a regimented program to which women are adhered to. We are breaking right here in the first hour. Come back in the second hour. Again, it's IG guidelines. Come back in the second hour. We're still going to continue with this. I believe we're finished with Six to Goddess. Wonderful things. But again, come on back, guys. Yes, a woman needs to take care of themselves, Chanel. Come on back in a minute. We are back on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Into the second hour we go. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. This is from the spring summer line, but fall winter line out now. I've already featured it on a few shows, and more fashions to come. And we are talking about if overweight, obese women should be rewarded for their choices and their wants and needs. And again, we're breaking it down tonight on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment, we're on the road to 1,000. Oh, sorry. There we go. Shit. There we go. I didn't press the thing. That's for my YouTube audience anyways. I did not press the button here. We are back. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We are back. We are live. We are live. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are into the topic of if fat women should be rewarded for their choices. Rewarded for their life choices. We're into the second hour here. We just had Six the Goddess explain to women that they need to get in shape or else you can't be considered at the top of the food chain. It's at the top of the most desirable women on the planet off rip. And nothing, not Lizzo, not Gabrielle Sidibe, not my big fat beautiful life shows, my 600-pound life show, not TLC, not the TLC channel can help you in this instance. We're going to move on from Six and Goddess. Thank you very much to Six and Goddess right there for giving us a bit of, elucidation as to what women need to do to get fit. Now, we are going to my man, Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews. And here's the thing. You tell a woman something that is for their own good, they're never going to take it to heart, never going to internalize it and do better. No. What they'll do is react emotionally for the most part. So you have to be expecting that as men. So we have here a few captions of what women will do if you offer them a guiding light towards better outcomes for themselves. We're here with Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. He's got this video, 18 minutes of fat shaming, of fat women shaming you into wanting them. Yes, that's right. This is what they do when they don't get what they want. They believe that you're the problem, not them. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Let's get into it.
As for that, without further ado,
I'm fully convinced that a lot of y'all men don't like women. Y'all like little girls. Y'all walk around talking about, it's just I just have preferences. Talking about no saggy skin, no cellulite, no stretch marks. Titties need to be all the way up here. Okay, titties tiny and up here. No hair on your body at all. And she needs to be small, cute little voice. Yeah, what you're describing is a prepubescent girl, a child. The problem is y'all don't like women, y'all like children, and it's weird as hell.
Okay, so let's go over kind of where she's going with that. So, so the logic here is that if you like physically fit, in shape, lack of hair, underarm hair, right, like on certain portions of the body, right, like all of these things that are deemed, valuable from a beauty perspective. And then all of a sudden, then shame the guy into saying that he likes little girls, which is...
Well, and we see this on Talk Live here, live on YouTube. This woman's clearly trying to hide her belly, trying to hide her flaws. I mean, listen, that is the beauty industry for women in general. It's about sorcery and hiding one's flaws so that they have a better chance at men. Men don't have that privilege. We are who we are. We go out with the face we have. We go out with the body we have. And the consequences are what they will be. That's it. There's no hiding place for us men. We are who we are. We do what we do. And it's about truth and consequences. See, women have that option of putting on eyelashes. Having clothes that hide their tummies, having tops that hide their sagging breasts, unfortunately, and all these necessary things that can basically create a level of sorcery for all to see, and makeup, of course, the ultimate makeup in which hides their blemishes. Men don't have that opportunity. So when men tell women that they don't like fat girls, they're shamed into saying that they like prepubescent children. They call us pedos. You can't, as the great Godfather once said, you can't make this stuff up. Women shame men into their preferences, yet they are celebrated for their own. What can you say?
Is the greatest crock of shit that I've ever heard in my entire goddamn life.
Yep.
How often are you guys going to try to work out? Men like bodies that are in shape. It has nothing to do. How do you just make the illogical jump that in shape bodies equals prepubescent girls? You should be ashamed of yourself. This assumption that men or the patriarchy is such in a way that it just forces this unrealistic standard and expectation that instead of taking accountability for mouth pleasure, you blame men and say that their standards are not women's standards. Meanwhile, if you get off of this country and go into other countries where they have much more of a universal health care, and then the government is more incentivized to put fantastic things into the grocery stores where the portion sizes are not Texas large, and you find out that the people are just eating way less calories, and therefore it's showing up in the way that their waistline looks. Until you can understand that and have respect for that, then you're just gonna blame shit on men.
Fully convinced.
Absolutely correct. Women hold accountability like kryptonite. They'll never blame themselves. They'll never consider themselves in the wrong. They'll blame other people. It's called deflection. When the problem lies with you. And he's absolutely correct. If you can see this on Talk Live, her belly's showing. She can't hide it no more. She can't hide it. No waist trainer. No mama jeans. No, because she got a belly button out. I mean, nothing can hide what has happened to her. Now, if there's a child involved, that's fine. But I've seen women with 4 or 5 kids still holding 6-packs. What's their problem? They made a I'll tell you what their problem is. They made a conscious decision to get their ass in the gym, to put the fork down and get into shape. That's what they did. That's what I had to do. Or else I wouldn't get any sort of female attention whatsoever. If I was a big set man, life would be nasty, brutish, and short. And that's the same for every other man out there. But women think that they're the goddesses. We should look away from their blemishes and curves. We should accept them for who they are. No! I keep telling you, there's a direct correlation between black marriage on the downside and women's weight on the up. Men are voting with their feet, especially in the black community, and saying, we aren't going to take this anymore. And if we have to take the show on the road, be it domestic or international, so be it. Chanel, it's your DNA. Chanel says it's your DNA. Chanel, the fact of the matter is, DNA or not, nothing outruns a bad diet. Nothing. Eventually, it will catch up with you. It happens to us all. Metabolism slows, and it shows. Sorry, it's true. I'll let it continue. Only in the black community. Let's go.
Is that a lot of y'all men don't like women? Y'all like little girls.
She dropping nothing but facts in that video.
Oh.
Actually, the older I get, the more that I see that it's way more grown-ass men. And
the older that you get, the more that you think that pandering to women is going to get you the viscous innards. You should be a goddamn ashamed of yourself.
And guaranteed, I'm going to stop it right there. Hold on.
You should be ashamed.
Hold on. And guaranteed, if you see this man on Talk Live, he is of low value. I can guarantee it. You can see it by the tattoo on his neck. This is the sort of man that Six the Goddess was telling you about. The same guy. You can see it here on Talk Live on YouTube. This is the sort of man that loves a big woman. Usually of low value. Usually that will be able to take them in no matter what circumstance they have gone through, and obtains support. Here he is, in the flesh. Oh yeah, you ain't said nothing but a word. That's simp behavior. He should be ashamed of himself. He should raise his standards. But no. If you want to be treated like trash, so be it. I'm sick and tired of it. Men need to up their standards. Men need to realize that they shouldn't act in simpish ways, because at the end of the day, these women will not respect you. They simply won't. They won't respect you at the end of the day. They'll want the man who has done the work. Need I say more? I just showed you, Lizzo. I just showed you, Gabrielle Sidibe. I just showed you Whitney Waythor. Just showed you. I just showed you. The only people who will want to love big women are men of low self-esteem, desperate sexual need, and poor life circumstances. That's it. Nobody worth his salt is going to go out of his way to bring a woman of 300 plus, 200 plus, hell, in certain instances, 150 plus. Out of their circumstances if he is of high value. If he is a Chatter Tyrone. No chance. That needs to be said again and again and again until women get the message. But hey, I've already showed you the marriage statistics. I'll let my man continue because this is getting this is damn right embarrassing.
Ashamed of yourself. That's what I think of you. Let's keep going.
And the little girls than I ever could have imagined. It's one dude who was super predator. I'm gonna tag him in the comments. He got videos on his page. His exact words, and I quote: "Older women are jealous of 14 and 15-year-old girls because they shape like goddesses." Unquote.
Yeah,
It started with
that's
people like
disgusting.
Kevin
That's not
Samuels
good.
calling 30-year-old
right.
women
Pay attention.
old. And they talk about 18-year-old girls when they 50, 60 years old enough to be her grandfather. You fucking sick. And that.
Okay, again, the pandering. So you can see he's a master panderer. Okay, how do you take an actual P statement, pedo statement, and then you're going to compare it to Kevin Samuels, right? Like who says at 30 years old you have 4 years before medically it's considered geriatric pregnancy. These are numbers. These are numbers. These are facts. These are data. These are statistics. You have 5 more years before you get into geriatric pregnancy. This is an actual thing. But see, when you get people that live in the space of beyond science, right, and they're now the way that they earn income is to pander, then you get young men like him. It's a goddamn shame.
That's
Stop there for a second. Again, he's right. Thank you very much, MTR, for pointing that out. When you have a society, I mean, listen, water always reaches its level. And for those women who have, had more than their fill, there are men for you just like this. Men are there are, as Kevin Sanders say, the pander bears, the simps among us who will take such largesse for themselves, and all the power to them. Let them take them. Absolutely, take all you want, because quite simply, it shows of what level of life you really are. It is the greatest indicator as such. The greatest indicator is when a man is vouching for the fat acceptance, body positivity. Body positivity, body neutral among us. We know who you are. Men know who you are. You don't have to show us any different. So continue. Continue doing what you're doing because, again, around real men of value, you've already shown yourself. You've shown your hand. And so we'll let you go on your merry way. And let us reap the benefits and the sweet of our hard-earned labor.
Privilege. That's patriarchy.
Oh,
Men
Jesus
get to
Christ.
say pedophilic shit like that in the open. And like I say, his video's still up. But I call out a dude who literally laying on his back, scratching and screaming in a parking garage with skates on. Make it make sense.
What?
The problem is
Lost
y'all
me
like
there.
women, y'all like children, and it's weird as hell.
So this is my trigger warning. Pedophilia is a direct product of patriarchy.
Oh God. Let's just hear what she has to say. Maybe she'll tie that together. Maybe it's just something that we're just not aware of.
Deal.
Maybe.
Please watch that whole video. It's great. She's basically talking about how beauty standards for women, mainstream beauty standards, tend to revolve around youthfulness. So women have to be young.
Again, listen to the accountability or lack thereof. Continue.
Looking thin, skinny, demure, taking up less space. And this is because patriarchy is about the power that men hold over women. And when an adult woman is seen as childlike, ignorant, all that, this gives power to the man.
Jesus Christ.
Such as the power that an adult has over a child.
Oh my God.
Nothing more to be said. Nothing literally more to be said. Accountability is like kryptonite to a woman. Here we are again. We see it again. She's willing to blame patriarchy for her circumstances. Instead of taking accountability and being better off overall, she'd rather blame men for her issues. Blame what men have shown you all along they want. And if you don't follow the rules, there are consequences. But no, blame them. It's okay. You know what? It's all right. You know why? Because men aren't going to change. They aren't. No matter what you women think, no matter how much movement you have, they are devoid of men. And any sustainable movement, such as feminism, must have the backing of men. Because you take men away from it, and their support of it, and the society in which creates these movements, these peaceful societies in which you, as women, benefit from, they fall apart. And men have told you from time immemorial, you don't fall into line unto these sort of body shape constraints, you're left holding the bag. You are to be, well, I wouldn't say ostracized, but there are consequences for your choices. There are sincere consequences. Sorry.
Thanks, feminism. You really did a number on them.
Mm-hmm.
you really did a number on them. And they walk around believing this stuff. Like they legitimately walk around thinking that because of a beauty standard, right? Like not like it's evolutionary biology. Like not like there's not an evolutionary reason as to why men would rather have children with a woman in her 20s versus a woman in her 40s. Not that. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with being in shape, right? Is seen as more attractive as men are visual people. It has nothing to do with that. But instead of, because it's the patriarchy currently, and men oppress women, or we're trying to oppress women, we're trying to oppress them to be little girls. That's your logic? What? Here's the thing. She can go off in life believing all of these different types of things. None of what she's saying will help her get a man. None of it. I don't need no man. That was just like her voice just came into my ear. I don't need no man. Okay, you don't need no man, but it starts to get really lonely when you get later off in life and you have no one else to be in a together mindset with.
That will be discussed on a future Talk Live, believe me. Those ladies who think they don't need men until they do. Until they do. Because I say it like this, ladies. I don't care if you're tall, short, big, svelte, fat, rich or poor. Sooner or later, you're going to need a man in your life. Hell, you wouldn't have the society you live in without us. The freest, safest societies the world has ever seen. Hell, you wouldn't be living in the structures you live in right now without us. You wouldn't have many of the modern amenities that you have before you without us. But then again, I digress. Continue.
Yeah, and as you do that, as you wait, as you don't need no man, as you think that you're a victim within a current patriarchy in America, which is absurd. It's absurd. Because of that, you're losing out on your options. Because you don't have a workout mindset right now. You're definitely not going to have a workout mindset into your 40s. You're thereby going to lose your options because your metabolism is going to go down even further.
That's right. Stop that right there. What he says is absolutely true. That's the test I have for women in my life. I say it again. It's tried, it's tested, it's true. Take a woman to the gym. Have her work out a little. See how she gets around the place. See if she has a set program to which she adheres to. If she does, chances are she's a keeper. That's my estimation, because she has a disciplined, regimented life, which keeps her in the best shape possible. You can't teach that. Well, you can teach it. But do they pick it up and learn it? Do they take it to heart? That is when a woman of grand standing takes over. That's when a disciplined, regimented, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive woman takes over, takes things to heart, and moves that into her life. That's where your grandmothers, your great-grandmothers have always passed the fitness test. But modern women think they don't have a fitness test to pass? Okay, fair enough. That's your choice as a woman. But if your outcomes aren't what you like, consider that. The one hurdle within one's life is your fitness. Where do you stand with it? And what has led to the outcomes you are encountering today?
I'm really convinced that a lot of y'all men don't like women. Y'all like little girls.
Ooh, can we be honest about the fact that 18, 17, 18, 16, because the age of consent is 16 in some states, people like to, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old girls, young women. If a man 15, 20, 25 years older than you wants to be with you, it's not because he sees your soul, okay? Perfect example of this is
Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio. This man is 46. 46. He has never in his life dated somebody who was younger than the age of 25. It's an amazing Twitter user made a graph of all the women he's dated in his life. Here's his age as it goes up over his life. These are the ages of the women he's dated, capping off at 25.
Who cares?
And he was in his 40s and late 30s.
Who cares?
Convinced that a lot of y'all men don't like women.
Wait a minute. Why are you trying to trash my boy Leo for his dating options? Why? Leave Leo alone. He's earned his money. He's earned his success. He should be able to choose what adults that he wants to choose. So, like, but how do you start off your diatribe talking about 16, 17, and 18, and we're looking at a graph where the average age is 25? Are you just feigning accountability that at 25 years old you can make your own decisions as a grown-up, as an adult? As if you cannot look at Leonardo DiCaprio and say, I'm attracted to this guy. Oh, and he's rich AF, so therefore I want to date him. And it's his fault that women said, okay. What? What
indeed? Men are hardwired to love women, especially from the ages, in particular, of 18 to 24. They're at their youngest. They have the holy trinity within those age groups. Now, again, I'd rather an older woman, but this is for most men. Because they have the holy trinity at their fingertips. They're youthful, they have their beauty, and they have their fertility. All together. They're at their sexual peak at that time. Now, that doesn't explain sexual appetite because that varies from age, and at certain ages, certain women get a larger sexual appetite to others. However, in terms of attracting men, that is their peak point in a woman's life, from the age of 18 to 24. She can build a legacy with a man. She can have children for that man. She's at her hottest. And she is at her youthful best. Without being pedophilic or anything such. And if Leonardo DiCaprio wants a fit woman, why can't he have it? He's worked hard for it. He's worked hard for it. Why shame him into it? Because women understand that they have no chance with Leo. They have no chance with Leo. He's made his choice. Most men of his ilk have made their choice. And they're not holding guns to these women's heads because these women want to date these men because that's when they're at their sexual peak. But that's for another show. That's for another show.
What? This is an absurd video.
I mean, y'all like little girls.
No, I'm going to add to this too because I think that this person is absolutely fucking correct. They do tend to want prepubescent bodies. And when they do want curvy bodies, they want curvy bodies that they see in like the Kardashians and other people who go get body altering surgery.
No.
And this is not to shit on anybody getting plastic surgery because that is your body, that is your money. You do you, boo. But when you are...
Listen, it looks good in photos, but ain't no one trying to wife that up. Ain't no one trying to marry fake asses. And the prepubescent shit, shut up.
Growing curves by yourself, like naturally, you get stretch marks. And I've literally fucked around with males in the past who told me that they liked how curvy I was, but hated that I have stretch marks. Like, bitch, how are you going to want the thickness, but then feel disgusted by the stretch marks? Like, the stretch marks are proof from my body that I grew these curves. Doesn't make sense. Y'all are disgusting and baffling.
I'm fully convinced that a lot of y'all men don't like
therapy, mama.
Yeah, therapy is needed.
All right.
We're going to leave it there for now. Thank you very much to Mediocre Tutorial. It goes on and on and on, but I think we'll end it there. Let's see what I'm doing for time here. 43. No, you know what? We're going to leave that point because I want to get to the man of the hour. Yeah, I want to get to the man of the hour. This man needs no introduction. Now, I'm still supportive of Kevin Samuels, as always. However, I had to take this from another page because there wasn't anyone readily available. I looked high and low for it. However, so please forgive me, Godfather, for I have sinned. Now, I wanted to feature this video right here because this is atypical of most big women out there. If this would be the video if Gabrielle Sidibe or Lizzo had to speak to Kevin Samuels. Typical. Absolutely typical of it. So let's get into it.
Because I feel like their vibration is much. It's like that's a different type of lifestyle. Like I've never experienced someone.
Let's take this back for a second.
About attracting a high value man. I just wanted to know the steps to attracting. Like how do I become a high value woman? Like with my appearance and just like my status.
How long have you been watching my content?
For like 3 months now.
So you know I have lots of questions. My first question is why do you want a high value?
Because I feel like their vibration is much. It's like that's a different type of lifestyle. Like I've never experienced someone with like a lot of financial wealth. Like I never had that type of man. So I kind of want that in a way.
Now remember, this may be denoted by the camera here, but she will get into it in time. This is a woman who's clearly overweight. Clearly wants what most women out there request. High value men. Forming the rule of 6. 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 inches or more, and a 6-figure salary. Oh, 6-figure salary.
Where have you interacted with these men?
I just seen it like I live in Atlanta, so when I go up to Buckhead, I just see like a lot of rich men that are wealthy, and I'm like, wow, like I wonder how it feels to actually live that type of lifestyle with someone like that.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I did.
Did you graduate?
Yeah.
What's your degree in?
Dental assisting.
It's a 2-year degree?
Yeah, it was 2 years.
Okay. So, just like going to school, getting into Georgia Tech has one standard, but getting into a junior college has another standard.
Mm-hmm.
But getting into Harvard has another standard.
Right.
You're trying, the kind of men you're talking about, you're asking about getting in the top tier of men. Just like trying to get into school, the requirements are heavy because of the payouts.
Mm-hmm.
Is it you want the lifestyle or do you want the man?
I kind of want the man because I know like he could provide and I would be okay. Like, cause I don't like working and just.
Okay, but so in other words, you want the lifestyle.
Yeah, and the man. But.
No, the man provides the lifestyle, but everything you talk about is a lifestyle.
Right.
You want a man because you don't want to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen to what he just said there. You can see it here on Talk Live on YouTube. Listen to what she just said there. She does not want to do the work, but she wants the lifestyle. You can take that another way. She doesn't want to do the work, but she wants the man that comes with the best. 6 foot, 6-pack, 6 figures or more, 6 inches or more. She wants the best, even though she has not done the work to get him. And we're speaking physically here. And also you can speak scholastically because, well, again, dental system, but then that's another side of the point because men will date anyone if they meet the requirements of a high value woman, which is fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, as you'll hear right now. But she has done the work. But she wants the man who has done the work. Let's continue.
That's fair. How tall are you?
I am 5'4",
Dress size?
probably size 12,
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
215.
Any children?
No, no children.
Your mother and father, were they married?
No, they weren't. My mom actually had me at a young age.
Mm-hmm. How many kids did your mother have?
5.
Okay.
Let's go back and listen to that one more time.
No, no children.
I
want you to pick this up.
Yeah, and the man. But.
No, the man provides the lifestyle, but everything you talk about is a lifestyle.
Right.
You want a man because you don't want to work.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. How tall are you?
I am 5'4".
4.
Dress size?
Probably size 12.
Size 12.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
215.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down? 5'4", size 12, and 215 pounds. Let me put that in perspective. I'm about 220. And I'm 5'9". She's 5'4" and 215. But she wants the rule of 6, remember? Remember when we started the show? She wants the rule of 6.
Any children?
No, no children.
Your mother and father, were they married?
No kids. No kids, might I add, to get to that 215 weight. No kids.
No, they weren't. My mom actually had me at a young age.
Mm-hmm. How many kids did your mother have?
5.
Okay. All by the same man?
No.
How many different fathers?
It's like 4. It's like 3 different people.
3 different fathers, including yours, or 4 total?
I'm the first one.
No, is there 3 fathers or 5 kids, or the 4 fathers or 5 kids?
It's the 4 fathers of 5. No, it's the 3 fathers of 5.
Okay. So,
we're not going to hold that against her.
You came from a single mother with 5 kids and 3 men.
Mm-hmm.
And like most people, you didn't grow up around these kind of people. They move differently. These men move differently.
Yeah.
And you don't work around them. You don't interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
You just see the conspicuous consumption. You just see what it is.
Thanks for the comment, Chanel.
Yeah.
Okay. In Atlanta, you also see a lot of drug dealers too, right?
Yeah.
Right? Uh-huh.
Certain clubs, of course.
Okay. Then why not date them?
They're very abusive, disrespectful. Like, they're the type that won't... I feel like, honestly, black men just don't like me. I don't know what it is.
No, you were doing okay until you put all of us in one category.
Right.
Can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know all black men. You know very small set of black men, so let's not do that with my brothers, please.
Okay.
Would you like me to say that? Would you like black men to say that about you?
No, I wouldn't. I apologize for that.
So,
before he goes on, Kevin's absolutely right. You can't say all black men, but we've already indicated the one group that will take these women in hand over fist. Don't we? Those of a working to poverty class, incarcerated set who will buy them steaks and Gucci shirts.
In other words, but the drug dealers, they got the money.
Mm-hmm.
They got access to their lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
But you don't like what comes with that.
Yeah, the trouble, the watching over your shoulder, like those are the type of.
Mm-hmm.
My mom dated those type of men, and I'm actually trying to drift away
Okay.
from those type.
But what I'm trying to draw a parallel is just like,
which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
Conspicuously consume a lot, but you don't like what you perceive come to dealing with people like that. Men on this side got a lot of things that come along with it. And
fair use.
Want from a woman?
To be cooperative and to like the things that you say, like be cooperative and just have
illegal immigrants can get into this country and stand in front of Home Depot or Day Labor Center, they get cooperation from their wives.
Right.
Men across the board want cooperation. But what is one of the first things I say men want from a woman from a physical standpoint?
Want like
wait for it.
The physical, like beauty, basically.
Wait for it.
Before that,
could you say it? Because I don't really.
It's feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. Okay. So automatically you're 200 and some odd pounds.
Right.
That X's you out of the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that? And this is for men across the board, including black men. We want fitness. We've told women we want fitness for the last 50 years, and they haven't listened. And as their obesity rates shot up, what happened to the marriage rates, people? I'll let you fill in the blanks. I'll let you fill in the blanks. Because as certain women have said, that's all we're good for. But certain other women have not. I need not say who they are. Now do I?
You're 23 and height, weight adjusted. Because you know what? Let me do this. So, when was the last time you were dress size 6?
That was when I was like 13 years old.
Okay.
And last year I lost like 60 pounds. I got in a relationship, gained 40 back.
So what's the most you've ever weighed?
The most I've ever weighed was 240.
Okay.
This is what most obese women, black women in particular, are coming to men. You must accept my 240 pounds. You must accept that I have not been a size 6 since I was in my prepubescent teens. That's the world we live in. That's the fat acceptance, body positive, body neutral world we live in. This must be accepted, and most importantly, this must be married. Gosh darn it, I was on a roll there. Okay, let's do it.
And how much do you say you weigh right now?
215.
215 times. All right. 215. So if we height weight adjusted you to the average man in this country is about 5'9", 3/4, 5'10", so like 6 inches taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
And height weight adjusted you, that would put you about around 260 pounds.
Oh wow.
So if your weight was And what I'm saying is, if I moved you up to a man's average height,
Mm-hmm.
you're almost 100 pounds more than you should be.
Right.
So at your height, you should be 100 pounds less.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hold on, Kevin, just 1 second. I just got this mention from Chanel, and it's also very true. You ever think I would ever be with a 250 plus man? He would crush me. See, that opinion is well warranted and accepted by society. Let that be a man say that. You wouldn't hear the end of it. Continue.
So now, be honest, when you see the kind of men you're talking about, getting out of these cars with the suicide doors and these sports cars,
Right.
Are you seeing large women get out of those cars?
No, only like the skinny girls. Like girls that are really skinny.
Well, what does that tell you?
I would have to get to that size basically. Like
But more importantly, so I always saw with the fitness component, and if you're youngest, you have no children, you got no reason. There's no excuse.
mm-hmm.
Stop there, Kevin. 2 things. Number 1, you never find rich guys catering to body positive, fat, accepted, body neutral ladies once they have money. That's an impossibility. It is imperative on a woman to keep in shape, or else she will not be coming out of suicide doors. She will not be jumping out of limos. She will not be on a man's arm of high value. It's not, simply not, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Number 1. Number 2, she's already said it herself. Let me rewind that back for you again.
Right.
Are you seeing large women get out of those cars?
No, only like the skinny girls. Like girls that are really skinny.
Well, what does that tell you?
I would have to get to that size basically. Like
But more importantly, so I always saw with the fitness component, and if you're youngest, you have no children, you got no reason. There's no excuse.
mm-hmm.
But
There's no excuse for this woman to be this size with no kids. None. No plausible reason you could you can have an eating disorder all day long, and that happens to only 5 to 10% of the population. The rest of the people, it's what they put in their mouth. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. There is no excuse. If you had a child, maybe then, but even then, women have had 3, 4, 5 kids and yet kept their figure. I know of ones right now who are in this audience who've had that and still kept it together. There are no excuses, people. None. None whatsoever. Nothing you can say to me that will justify your dietary choices. Nothing. It's the one thing you can truly control. It's what you put in your mouth.
But why don't you want to work?
I don't know, because I want to learn more ways to get like money without standing on my feet. I don't know. It's just something I don't like doing, but I still do it though because I have to keep my type of lifestyle up. So, like, pay my rent. But it's something about it I just don't like.
Okay. You want children?
Yeah, I do.
How many?
Like 3.
Something she's catching on to.
So, man, why, in all honesty, why should somebody
Food prep is indeed important.
Why should you not have to work like everybody else in the world? Because, and here's another question. On a scale of 1 to 10, fresh face out of the shower, your natural hair, no makeup, no extensions, no lashes, what would you rank your looks? You can't use 7.
A 1, I guess.
1 to 10.
Yeah.
A 1 is the lowest possible.
Yeah, I'm a 1.
Okay.
No, like I feel like maybe a 1 or yeah, maybe not even on the scale. Probably off. I'm probably just like average, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, average is 5.
Yeah. Maybe like a 1 or a 0. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense, man.
1 to 10. Okay, so I'm a 1 probably. Yeah.
No, man. What is an average grade? What's an average grade? What letter grade is average?
A 6, I guess.
No, ma'am. Of the on your report card, what's an average grade? F, D, C's, B's, A's. What's average?
It's a C.
Right.
Right.
A C is not a 1.
You see what Kevin's doing there? God love him. God bless the Godfather. He's actually helping her self-esteem, giving it a boost. Because he could kick her when she's down. He could say, well, yeah, you're a 1. But he's actually offering an olive branch and saying, you know what? You're not a 1, darling. We'll give you a 5. You're an average-looking woman. Despite your weight, despite what people think of me, you're actually a 5. You're actually someone who should be regarded as relatively good looking. He's actually trying to level set her and saying, you shouldn't want a high value man. That shouldn't be your goal. Your goal is to not die alone. Find a man that'll love you for who you are. Sure, men want fitter women, absolutely, but there's a certain segment who do like bigger men. And if they're not of the high variety, so be it. But at the end of the day, they're going to love you for who you are. And if you don't make the necessary adjustments and changes in your dietary lifestyle and in your fitness regimen, those are the men for you. So he's actually trying to level set and help this woman find someone in her life. He's trying to give her guidance. Many of you won't see it, but I see it. I see it all totally from here. When he's telling her, your letter grade is a C, not an F. You're not a 1, you're a 5. He's trying to not kick her down, not kick her when she's down. He's trying to help her out. And God love him for it.
An F is a 1.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just an F. I don't know.
Okay, so if you're being serious,
I'm serious.
If you're being serious, and I don't mean any disrespect, young lady, but that right there wouldn't work. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing to say, hey, I'm a 1, I'm average, it's like 5, it's like, these men are on, you're not on their level.
Right.
And it's not really fair would that be a fair deal for him?
Actually, it wouldn't. You're right. It probably wouldn't.
But I'm just curious as to why, high value or not, why not just do it an average man?
You're right.
But I'm asking, why not?
I don't really know what an average man is.
Have you ever had a relationship?
Not a long-term relationship, no. Probably like I wouldn't even call them relationships. Probably like situationships, like 4 months, 3 months, things like that.
But you've had sex.
Yeah.
Stop right there. That's most bigger set women. They've had most of them had situationships, but not relationships. They're there for sexual gratification, but that's it. They take themselves out of the marriage eligibility stakes by being obese. And usually you'll have to find a man of like weight, of lower social and financial strata to get involved. But they don't want those men. So they end up alone. You have a comment here. But me as a woman, I would love to tell women and men about Odd Bunch. Huge box of fruits and vegetables. All right. Weekly for $20. Yeah, well, there's a tip. Thanks very much for that, Chanel. There's a bit of a tip. But hey, most of these girls end up alone. Most of these girls end up with situationships. Take Lizzo, for example. She was in a situationship. I don't know if it was a relationship. I call her a situationship because that guy's gone now. I don't think they dated for very long. Maybe, I would say 6 months, maybe a year or so. I would classify it as a relationship, but it took her money for him to be there. If she didn't have any money, he wouldn't be there.
Of course.
No, not of course.
Okay.
So, what is a wife's response? What's a woman's response? What's a wife's responsibility in a marriage?
A wife responsibility in the beginning.
In a marriage.
In a marriage is to take care of a man. Basically, stay home, cook, take care of the kids, things like that.
Well, if everything you're saying is accurate and true, your mother having 5 kids put you behind. Because then there's no way an average woman with 5 kids from multiple men can really raise those children.
Right.
You guys survived. So, and there are a lot of things about relationships that you did not learn, but what it is for everybody, you get who you are.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing from you is you want a high-end lifestyle.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like you live once and...
Come back for the third hour, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be finishing up this Talk Live right here. So come on back. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay,
Let this continue.
High-end lifestyle. But you ever go to Phipps Plaza?
I'm not really into like Gucci, Louis, Prada. Like.
You ever go to Lenox Mall?
Yeah, I went like a couple of times.
See you in a bit.
Okay. When was the last time you went shopping?
Actually, today.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go? What store did you go to?
Like average clothes for average people, H&M, Forever 21, things like that.
Okay, hold it, ma'am. Please hold the phone. Your face is cutting out. You need to hold it up a little bit.
That's a good question. I don't know.
But nothing is free. You gotta.
Sorry about that, guys, on YouTube. We're just going to... Oh, shoot. Let me get this here. So it's going to bring back on IG Live. Here we go. And we're off. And we're ready to go again.
You can pay for it.
Right.
So why should you have a high-end lifestyle that you can't pay for?
Back on Talk Live. Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Just finished up with Kevin Samuels here. And then we're going to sum up this evening and answer the question. And you pretty much know the answer. Let's go.
I don't know.
because you can't pay for it. So you want somebody else to pay for it. Okay, if you want somebody else to pay for it, you got to give them what they want.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I think has happened a lot. You young ladies are seeing these lifestyles in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know them. You have no idea who these men are. You don't have any idea what it's like to be with these men. But you desire it. And that's not okay, because that means, are you happy with your life right now?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Because of what I don't know if you're spiritual or believe in God, but just the parents that I was given and just the circumstances, no, I'm not really happy with my life.
I believe in God, yes, but you're 23 and you're a grown up, you're an adult, you're responsible for your own life.
Yeah.
Your mother, good, bad, or indifferent, stopped being responsible for you at 18 years old.
Yeah.
So if you're not...
Before Kevin goes on, I'm going to have... there's an old thing that there's a saying that Kevin used to say, is that the world does not owe you understanding. Big, short, tall, short, skinny, fat, rich, poor, the world doesn't owe you understanding. And at the end of the day, that extends to the overweight and obese among us. We don't owe you understanding. We don't owe you our patience, especially this is especially true for men, but women are just getting around to it, understanding it. They used to understand it for time immemorial, but during the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, they fell out of pocket with it. And yet I say again, the world does not owe you understanding overweight, obese, fat women. They don't. If you put the food in your mouth, it's your own fault. Same thing here with this guy, with me. If I put the food in my mouth, I will suffer consequences. My mother pointed that out to me when I was 15 years old. Do you want trouble down the pipe? Do you want to have regular sex? Do you want to get married? If you do, you best stop these gluttonous ways of yourself. Well, we never told women that. Especially during the last 5 to 10 years. Never told women that. It's about time we did. We used to tell that all the time. But now it's considered taboo. Can't talk about a woman's weight. Oh, no. That's shameful. You can't call a woman out for her choices. That's against the gynocracy. She must be celebrated for her curves. She must show her how fierce and love all of her stretch marks. Certain milieu, quite simply, they vote with their feet. And you know their feet they're going elsewhere but to black women, unfortunately. They're the least married women on the planet, and that's for a reason. One is too aggressive, another too masculine. However, the third is they're too overweight. The truth.
Happy. It would make more sense to get happy with who you are versus trying to get stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
I think it would be good for you to sit down with a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
How much social media are you on, like TikTok and Instagram?
Just Instagram, but I deleted Instagram for 3 days and I got back on.
Well, this conspicuous consumption stuff is really warping a lot of young people's mind. The kind of lifestyle you're talking about is the people who can afford that legitimately are people in the top 1%.
Right. But how do we get in the top, like, 1% without...
You have to earn the money legally.
Yeah.
The men who get there, what kind of men who are not athletes, entertainers, or musicians, what kind of men earn that $300,000-$400,000 a year?
Mm.
You don't shop at Gucci making $70,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't shop at Tom Ford or Valentino or any of the stuff that's in Phipps. You have to have disposable income to buy a $600 belt.
Yeah.
But did you decide this kind of stuff when you were a little girl? No, because you lived in the house with your mother and did you have an apartment or a house?
Oh no, I got my own place.
When you were a young little girl.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, for sure. Like,
did you live in an apartment? Did you live in a house?
No, a house. We had a really nice big house.
How?
I don't know. My mom just made it work. I don't know how she did it.
But did your mother graduate high school?
Yeah, she went back to school after she did.
So how does a woman with a GED and 5 kids afford a big, nice house?
Probably some things that I don't know about. How probably the guy that she got with took care of her. I don't know, but I just know. Like,
there's a point to this.
I don't know.
Before we move on, just a second, let's just get this read by Chanel. She says, I've raised black girls. They've always said I was... Well, of course you're going to say you're different now, Chanel. But, again, you've raised some beautiful girls. Yes, indeed. But I'm sure that fitness was a component of your rearing of these children. I'm sure you taught them that fitness is important to a man. The fitter you are, the better your chances with them. I'm sure you did that, in passing. Either by example or overtly through your own tutelage. Just saying.
Because I don't really... Me being in those shoes, like, I wouldn't know how to do that. Like, I don't think I'm strong in that field to... Especially if I'm a single, like, mother.
Yeah, you see, that's unfortunate. Your mother modeled a bunch of stuff that's not helpful. But man, you're a dental assistant. That's middle income. That's average person.
Right.
You get an average life.
Right. I kind of want to do other things and further it though. Like, I don't know.
You want to do what?
I kind of want to go back to school and further, or get my own business.
Own business in what?
I don't know. Like, just...
Young lady, listen to me what I'm about to tell you. Okay? I need you to really pay attention.
Okay.
There is no such thing as free money.
Mm-hmm.
Young black women have been told that having a business makes you rich or wealthy or well off. And an average black female business owner ain't rich.
Okay, we're going to move this a little further because, again, he's going into black businesses, but we're into the weight situation.
To a lazy woman.
Here it is.
Learning how to cooperate with a man so you can actually become a wife, build a family and some stability, and take the long, slow path. But you're like most women. You want it quick. You want it fast. You want it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Back up for a second.
Travel, it's all bullshit. And it has really infected the black community to where we have our young black women like yourself, who you really should be in the prime of your life, being as fit as you can be, learning how to cooperate with a man so you can actually start become a wife, build a family and some stability, and take the long, slow path. But you're like most women. You want it quick. You want it fast. You want it easy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's lazy.
Right.
So you get that? That's an important piece of information right there. Chances are, if you are lazy in terms of your nature, in terms of your diet, in terms of your body shape, you'll tend to want everything easy in life. Sort of like what Lizzo wanted. I mean, she put in some hard work in order to get what she wanted, to get her into the position of life where she wanted, but she didn't want to do the work it took to get a high value man, which was the fitness component. That's number one. She didn't want that. She wanted to bypass the line. Bypass it. In order for her to get what she wants. But at the end of the day, it's the old saying, what came easy will go easy. Things that you didn't have to work hard for won't last. If you didn't have to work hard for those gentlemen, all you had to do was throw some money around instead of showing a man that you took it upon yourself to get fit in order to be ready for him, he won't stick around. Unless he's paid to stay. Like my girl from My Big Fat Life. And like Lizzo did, and what Gotta Be Recidive did. Those men were paid to stick around. They weren't won on their merit, on their fitness. No. I mean, you can think of yourself as a unattractive man in that sense, but at the end of the day, he had to pay a price to get that woman. He had to pay a price, a serious price, to get even a woman's attention. For women, that's not the case. And it's the same thing with this woman right here. She wants a man without putting in the work. And Kevin's level sayer said, you're not going to get that guy. He wants to know that you put in work to your fitness to a point where he can depend on you to raise a family. To follow his lead, because you have the discipline to take direction and build with that man a family. That's what smaller women have. They have discipline. They're regimented. They're focused on a goal. And have proven themselves over time to be worthy of a man's attention. And if you're a big enough girl, that's not the case. But let's continue.
And it shows up on your body. You don't want to do anything that's going to require any work. Well, then what kind of man is attracted to a lazy woman?
A slum, pretty much.
It's not a fair trade for a man.
Yeah, it's not.
He just said it right there. Who's attracted to a woman who's not put in the work? A man of low value is. Six the Goddess already said it beforehand, remember? Who's attracted to heavier set, wider hipped, bigger bellied women? Men of low value. And Lord knows I've been in my community long enough to know that. I've seen it pretty much most of my life. and have influenced my choices as well. I know of many men who love bigger set women. They didn't make a great account of themselves. They didn't. That's why I vowed to myself to keep myself in shape, because again, it's a sign of high value. That you care enough about yourself that you want to keep yourself fit. It's a sign of high value. And it indicates to a woman that even in the most recession-like sexual marketplaces, you're ready. You're ready.
So I'm going to suggest that you really, one, there's a website called betterhelp.com. I'm going to suggest you go on there and find somebody to talk to.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of things that just get a clean bill of health, because there's some things you shouldn't be talking about on Instagram. But it just doesn't hurt to talk to somebody about things that happened in life, things that you're confused about, with somebody who is private and who's actually trained to do that kind of stuff. That's number one. Number two, man, young lady, you gotta get yourself in shape. That is absolutely non-starter. Because one thing that I can say,
did you hear that? Fat acceptance, body positive, body neutral. Men aren't going into the IHOP, the McDonald's, the Popeyes, the fast food restaurants of the world to find a bigger set woman. It ain't happening, and it never will. Never will. Remember, we never signed on to those fat acceptance movements. Never did. Men never did. So, what can I say?
Channel on my show is there's so many of our women who are overweight and obese, and that locks you out of the marriage market.
Right. I have a quick question as well. So let's just say if I like get surgery or get my body done.
This is important.
Like a high value woman, right? And I attract a type of man. Do you think that's gonna probably detour my self-esteem, or like what do you think? Like what can that do to a woman?
If you got your body done and didn't what?
Yeah, like if a woman gets surgery to actually look like these women that you're talking about, like do you think that'll like change something? Like I don't know.
Nope. First off, that's one of the worst things you could ever do. And the fact that you're so young and even that's in your mind, that's how warped our culture is. You're not supposed to want to have somebody cut on you.
Mm-hmm.
These women are dying for this stuff. But I always say this in image, you can put a turd in the soup, but it's still a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset needs to be adjusted. And it doesn't work from the outside in, it works from the inside out first. And what I got.
Did you hear that, ladies? Plastic surgery ain't gonna save you. Body enhancements ain't gonna save you. What will save you is diet and exercise. That's the only thing. That's the only salvation they have. Because men like sleeping with body enhanced ladies. They don't like marrying them. Contrary to popular belief, they don't. We like our ladies as natural as possible. And with that, your body should match your natural self. Meaning, you need to do the work in the gym and diet and exercise for us to recognize you for it. For you to be rewarded for your good works. No matter how much money you make, because Lizzo's a typical example of this, men will leave. They will leave you as sure as the sun shines. And that's a fact. Unless you get yourself together, Kevin said it himself, you are eliminating yourself from the marriage market. There is a correlation between the rise of women's weight and the falling rates of marriage. Plummeting rates of marriage. People will say, oh, because, men can't get along and the sex isn't good. And of course, finance has always been there. But something tells me being in a more overweight environment has something to do with that as well. Especially in our community. That's a God's honest truth. As black women's weight has increased, on average, marriages have fallen. Like it or lump it, take it or leave it. It's the truth. Men are voting with their feet, they're taking their show on the road, and some aren't coming back. Why? Because a lot of women think that this is all they're good for. This is what you should have. And men are voting with their feet and saying, no, not anymore. As people are more race loyal, yes, however, you're going to find more and more men not coming back to the community simply because they aren't giving men what they want. And the first thing they want is fitness. First thing.
Is you don't sound like you really like your life or like what the prospects for the future are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you got to fix it. And it's not through get-rich-quick schemes. It's not through surgery and stuff like that. There are no fast solutions, man. It's called water, vegetables, 5 days a week in the gym, running, sweating, stretching, weightlifting for the rest of your life. But what do you think the people who go out here in the world, you think people just give folks money just because they show up? You got to earn that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that, if your mother's lifestyle is what it sounds like, she had a fast money kind of lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Well, she didn't earn nothing. And usually women in your mother's position are getting money from men or getting money from the state because she can't make the kind of money to pay for 5 kids and not in a big house.
Yeah.
Average is good. High value, high end.
It's all the way up there. Like, nah, you're right.
Well, it's not even realistic. It's like, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get out. I want you to imagine you back in high school, and I want you to imagine that you went to history or English or something like that, and you've been not studying all year.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't been paying attention, you're skipping class. Then all of a sudden, it's the end of the semester, and you think you're gonna go in and ace the final and make an A+ in the class?
Without putting in the work.
There's no way to do it, man. If you've already been, you can't do that. Who can make an F all year and turn around and get the top grade? And that's effectively what so many want to.
The one and only Godfather, telling it like it is. I'm gonna bring it back to me Thank you, Godfather, for what all you've done. You are the patron saint of the black manosphere, and may you rest in eternal peace. We are forever in your debt. Let me just bring it back to me here. And let me just tie things in. I just have a comment here from Cass Forever Cass saying, you're right, surgery does not replace working out and eating right. Absolutely. Big brother Kev, I miss him. Yes, we should. We do. We all do. But let me bring it back to brass tacks here, and then we're going to end off. I got to rush out of here in a bit. But let me just say this. That last analogy is entirely true. If you're in a class all year and you've been basically missing for most of the semester, you cannot expect to get an A grade on your exam if you didn't work for it. He's absolutely right. Kevin is absolutely correct. Same way that a student can't get an A grade without hard work, the same way an obese woman can't get a high value man without the work. In other words, he can't get these men. Thank you very much, Cass. I am trying to get my show on TikTok. Absolutely, I think I have to make that move. But again, there are certain requirements there. But again, we're going to be showing. We're going to try and get out clips so that we can gain a bigger audience. But thank you very much for that. But let me just continue this. So the question tonight is, if fat women should be rewarded for their choices and their desires and treatment. And put simply, no. They didn't work for it. They did not work for it. Lizzo didn't work for it. She may have a great career, but in terms of her body shape, she didn't work for it. She didn't pass the first hurdle of fitness. Neither did Gabrielle Sidibe, neither did Miss 600-pound life, Ms. Waythorne. Didn't work for it. So for them to think that they could turn up and say that I want a Chris Evans or I want a Boris Kojo or I want a Chris Brown or I want a Leonardo DiCaprio. It's insane. You haven't done the work to get these men. So these men aren't going to come calling for you. Remember, big girls don't step out of limos. They don't step out of Lamborghinis. Sorry, doesn't happen. I haven't seen it, and I doubt I ever will. Why? Because they haven't done the work to attract men. They haven't got past the first hurdle, which is fitness. And that's what us men these days have to show women. Stop rewarding women with not only romantic, but sexual attention. It needs to stop now. And I'm speaking for my black people, every other race rewards these women with attention, except us, because we're seen as the bottom rung on the totem pole, bottom rung on the ladder. Better analogy. And yet, we're supposed to accept them, and yet we're shamed because we want women who are fit and not children. And yet, women don't get the hint. And as I've said before, as weight has gone up, marriages have gone down. And they wonder why. Because you're not giving a man what he wants. And if a man is not getting what he wants, he'll walk away from it. Just like the rules of family court. If he doesn't see a bargain in a marriage, in a woman, he'll walk away from them. So keep on living this body positive, fat accepted, body neutral life, ladies. Because that chances are you're going to either live them with a pet or live them alone. And only your nourishment will keep you company. Thank you very much for coming out to Talk Live. We're going to end it right there. Have to run, but it was an involved show. But next week, we have some more cooking, and we have way more cooking to do here. And that includes a certain Ebony K. Williams has come back to the fore. Oh my God, she's ready to be cooked. And a few other things that we have on the back burner, believe me. We're going to get hot and heavy as we get into the fall. I'm back and I'm ready. Both barrels blazing. A final comment. Absolutely not in my books. No, it's not in my books. No, and neither, and it shouldn't be in any book. Any lady's book. None. But I thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live here. We're going to end it here tonight. It's near 11 o'clock. I have to get running and going with some quick decisions to make. So I thank you very much for joining me. We'll be back next week. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Hopefully it'll be some better weather upcoming. But if not, hey, do what you got to do and enjoy yourself while doing it. And I thank you very much for you being here. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Fall winter line is out again. And tell a friend and let them know that we are here. And we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I thank you very much for the support. A really lively audience tonight. I appreciate you. Tell your friends about the show. And we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on pushing. And thank you very much. And wish you a great weekend, a great night. And if you talk, walk the knob. And we'll see you next week. Good night from Toronto. Instagram. And thank you very much for your viewership here on YouTube. This will be released right after the show. We'll be cooking a lot more next week. Have a few more real teachable moments coming out, and some good topics to discuss. So join me back then on Tuesday night. We'll be back, and look out for the promos. And we'll see y'all soon. And